Ever wondered, why is W called W and not double V? The letter W might be the most curious one in the English alphabet. Its name, W, doesn't seem to match how it actually looks a pair of V's. Ever wondered why we call it W instead of double V? The origins of W. The story of W dates back to the early days of the Latin alphabet, which didn't include a distinct letter for the W sound. In fact, the Latin alphabet only had V, which was used to represent both the vowel sound U and the consonant sound V. This worked fine in Latin, but as the alphabet spread to other languages with different sounds, people needed a new letter to represent what we now think of as the W sound in words like water and wind. The solution, W. In the early days of Old English, scribes found a clever workaround. To represent the W sound, they began writing two Us or Vs which had the same shape side by side, UU. Eventually, this W started to function as a single letter, representing a unique sound that wasn't covered by the letters they already had. Why not double V? While it may look more like a double V to us today, in early English writing, the shape of U and V was fluid. They were often used interchangeably and sometimes looked exactly alike. The term W reflected the shape and sound that the letter represented at the time, long before the shapes of U and V became distinct. When printing became widespread, U and V began to take on their separate forms, V as a pointed letter for consonants, and U as a rounded letter for vowels. But by then, W had already become the established name for W, so it stuck, even though it now looked more like double VW in other languages. Interestingly, in many languages, W is actually called a name closer to double V. For instance, in French, it's called double V, and in German, it's Doppel V. English is one of the few languages that kept the W name. In conclusion, the reason we call W double U and not double V is rooted in history. When W was first introduced, it was seen as a doubling of the shape of U, and the name stuck even as the letter's form evolved. So the next time you write a W, you're seeing a piece of linguistic history in action.